Morning, March 22nd, 2025. I am Larissa. This is my video diary. My fat girl video diary. So, recently, I've been seeing a lot of shit about that bitch AOC. No, now she's out there talking about how she hates Elon and all this bullshit and, oh, fuck Trump and blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. This is my problem with this bitch. And this is why she's not the only one, but I don't trust the Democrats. And in particular, this particular cohort of Democrats, she just a couple years ago was all buddy going to these same fucking parties, all the same fucking fancy parties where Elon and Grimes were going. Like, they everybody used to be on this on the Tesla bandwagon, right? And I don't support her energy policy. Her support of the quote unquote Green New Deal is a load of shit. I mean, the Green New Deal's politics and push for solar dependence in the United States is those ideas are what have destroyed the rainforest in South America and have destabilized Venezuela, and why we now have all these issues with Venezuelan gangs. New York in particular, complaining about the Venezuelan gang. Bitch, you helped bring them to this country. And when she was going on and on and on about, oh, the children in cages and all this, that, and the other thing. I worked with children in cages, bitch. I worked with children who were kept by the state in cages, right? And a lot of those kids that were coming off the border and the photos that she used when she was doing that shit were photos from the border from the Obama administration. I'm not saying that there aren't abuses of people in this process of coming to this country, because there are. I'm saying that she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about, and that she picks and chooses, and and it's all smoke and mirrors and manipulation and propaganda when it's coming out of her fucking mouth, right? And she's down there in fucking Vegas with Bernie Sanders, and I'll get to what I think about him in a minute. Vegas? Who are you talking to in Vegas? Organized crime? The organized crime that runs Vegas? Oh, okay. Are you down there staying in their fancy hotels? Eating and drinking on their dime? On the gambling money? Oh, you having a good time? Oh, okay. My problem with this bitch. And it was the same thing with her. She can be bought so easily. Like, it was the same thing with her when she was went to that party, and after this biography was written about her, where they went on and on about how pretty she is. Oh, her long skinny neck and her wide set eyes, and I mean, it was just like, really, this is the biography of a politician that I'm supposed to take seriously, right? And she accepted an extravagant gown as a gift to wear to this party, where she was given tickets that were $35,000 a pop. That's a politician accepting a bribe, is it not? Right? Right? Yeah. Yeah. And then she flaunted it. And she flaunted it. She flaunted these bribes that she accepted. She flaunted these bribes that she accepted on social media. No, there's no way. So now she's had some makeover, and now because she's wearing a jean skirt Now, because she's wearing a jean skirt and has gained a little bit of weight in her face, she should get filler. That's what it looks like. Now that she's getting her makeup done professionally, that's what it looks like. I've done makeup professionally, I have. I don't wear makeup, but I've done it. I've been paid. That's something I've actually been paid to do is makeup. Believe it or not. Oh. Hmm. I did makeup at a salon for like a year. Yeah, in Los Gatos. Yeah. So I don't trust her. I don't trust her, and I don't agree with her fucking her politics on energy. No, I don't. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't agree with her on some other stuff too. Like First Amendment. I believe in the First Amendment. She does not. She believes she believes in censoring people who don't agree with her. I dealt with it on Twitter. Oh, hmm. Ooh, inconvenient. Inconvenient, huh? Miss AOC. Yeah. So, like, when she was complaining about the kids in cages at the border and how I was separating families from each other, they had to find out, make sure that those kids weren't being trafficked by those family members. Because, a lot of those kids that I worked with, so a couple of the girls that I worked with, there were a couple waves during the Obama administration of like huge gangs of children that came across the border without adults. And a couple of the girls that were in that group that I worked with were from came in with those groups. Um, and it was like hundreds of kids. Like there were like two different occasions. There were hundreds of kids that came across the border together without parents. And then there were kids that were coming over, being brought over by aunts and uncles, right? And when they'd get over here, if they couldn't find parents, because a lot of times that happened, or if parents were dead in their country of origin, kind of thing, and they got up here and they went through the whole system with the coyotes. The kids got sold, right, into sex trade. Yeah, no, that's how a lot of little gangbanger girls. There were a bunch of those little gangbanger girls. The one little girl was sold by her uncle. So AOC does nothing for me. I feel no vagina camaraderie with that bitch. I don't. No, 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 nope. So, Bernie Sanders, I don't disagree with a lot of his conclusions. What I disagree with him on are his solutions. So, like, okay, we can agree on what the problem is, right? But I don't agree with what you want to do to fix the problem. And, you know, that's kind of important. So I'm not like not railing against him. I think he's just another old white dude. And that's what's problematic. That's problematic for me. Um, and he just has a new set of white dude solutions. First off, and the fact that he's partnered up with AOC, like, no, I'm not interested in that shit. I'm not interested in that shit. The fact that he does not see what her, this other shit that she pulled. She did nothing. She did nothing to secure women's reproductive rights. And she's not talking about that shit. And even if she did, I'd be like, okay, whatever. I'm totally nonplussed. That's why I don't like her. Yeah. Yeah. And some comedian was saying, well, I don't blame anybody who's driving a Tesla. I do. We didn't go out and buy a fucking Tesla. I wrote a book where Tesla vehicle was a character, right? Because in that book, ethanol was a character in that book as well. The character Korn, who kills himself, who's um, the military veteran who was came from a corn farming family that sold to um, uh, Valero, right, for ethanol production. He represented a lot of things, but he was largely the ethanol industry. And the the symbolism of him as a veteran committing suicide, because that's part of the overt storyline, is that he has PTSD. It's like, okay, well, that's kind of like cliche at this point when you're talking about veterans as a character, but that coupled with where he is from and his name, it was a vehicle to actually talk about ethanol, because ethanol production is like committing suicide, right? Because it decimates biodiversity in agriculture. It has, and that's in large part problem that the agricultural industry is like the biggest problem in the agriculture industry of the past like 25 years is the genetically engineered, not just genetically modified where we're cross pollinating, but genetically engineered corn. That when then that cross pollinates and modifies with non engineered corn, it has rendered entire seed banks sterile, and has taken a lot of small farmers to court by big companies over patent law. So that's the character there. The character Corn is a vehicle for talking about the ethanol industry in that book. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna post this one today. Mm. Yeah. So yesterday I went to court. We'll see what the judge decides after she reviews everything. Every time he opened his mouth, I just wanted to like beat him with my fucking stick, because it was just lies and bullshit that came out of his mouth. I'm like, oh my God. Next thing, the bot flies that were down in that washout, in that storm sewer that was backing up with poopy water into my unit. The bot flies are gonna start coming out of your mouth next. Oh my God. You know, he's like, oh, she was just trying to get out of there as fast as she could. I tried to find another place in Saratoga first. There was a building across the street that had spots for rent. They wouldn't call me back. And there was a building down the street that had spots for rent. They rented the one spot that would have been okay for me, but then the other spot that that they had open, it was a weird shape. It was triangular, and it was like it didn't have enough wall space for hanging art, and it was a weird shape, right? Like it was gonna be hard to, yeah. hmm Yeah, no, I tried to stay in Saratoga. I just didn't want to do business with you anymore, Michael Kaysen. I just didn't want to do business with you. But I couldn't find anything. Nobody would call me back, and things I couldn't, other stuff that was available was stuff I couldn't afford. There was a was a building that was for rent, that it would have been really cool if I'd had the whole building, but I couldn't afford to rent the whole building. I couldn't afford to rent the whole building. I couldn't afford it. So anyway, so here I am in Santa Cruz in a shittier neighborhood, paying more money, paying 40% more in a shittier neighborhood with less foot traffic and more homeless people bullshit. But at least I'm not dealing with, at least I have my own address, right? At least I can get mail. There's other bullshit here though. Oh my God. It's like, is nobody in real estate honest? Is no one in real estate honest? Mm. A ruse. Yeah, I was looking to Gyp Town. That's what I was looking to do, Michael Bass, and I was looking to Gyp Town. No. Dude, I didn't want to work with you anymore. It was personal. I didn't want to work with you. You were a lying little weasel and you were costing me lots of money. Anyway. Oh my God, my period is so bad. Cramps so bad. I do. I drank bourbon last night. I did, and I enjoyed it. Anyway.